First teacher I remember was a teacher named Michael Beckett at HB Studios. I went to HB Studios because I had heard Pacino had gone there, and I loved Pacino. It was really exciting to be in this old building, studying acting, and at that time, I think just as exciting was to have that first beer at the White House Tavern after class. It was when I went to Los Angeles that I really started diving into technique, and I came across the Neighborhood Playhouse. I studied with Bob Carnegie there. I was there almost 5 years. Through through Playhouse West, I got to meet and study for a small-time William Esper and Bill Alderson, and then ultimately Sandy Meisner himself. And the technique in and of itself, for me, was life-changing. Meeting and getting to work with Sandy was a blessing. From the technique, there were a couple of takeaways that I got that had nothing, well, not that had nothing, it had as much to do with life as it did with acting, and that was to live truthfully, to not live in the past, and to live moment to moment. From there, I went to the actor studio and I studied with Shelley Winters. There we were working with music. I had already been working with music. I didn't know it was a Strasberg technique, but I loved her passion about the work. All these people, this was their life's blood, just, and I felt like I was cut from that same ilk. Charlie Lawton I studied with, who was Pacino's friend and coach, and Pacino would actually sit in on class sometimes. And from Charlie, I got one of the greatest lessons as well, to not attach myself to the result and to enjoy the journey, which not only made, I think, my acting better, it definitely made my life better. I studied with a woman named Susan Peretz. She was also a disciple of Strasberg. Wonderful teacher, wonderful, passionate woman. Studied with Barbara Bain a little bit. Again, all these people were, this was their life's blood. I mean, acting was it for each of them. And it was nice to be around people that had that passion. And I was always in an acting class, and I always would have been, I was in acting classes even when I was teaching acting. I wanted somebody to pull me to the next level. I wanted to stay in shape. I wanted to be in the gym. It was until 2000, when my son was born, that my priorities needed to shift, and I needed to, for one thing, I'd have the money to keep taking classes, and then I'd have the time. I needed to work more and raise my son, which hands down has been the greatest part of my life, more so than anything else I've ever done. So, yeah. I never took some fast food class. I never took an on-camera workshop or a cold reading workshop or a casting director workshop or one of these agent workshops. In truth, when I first began, before the internet, casting directors were still doing their job. And it seemed like they had a sense of pride to go out and discover new talent and see them on stage and see them in their element. So work I got, agents I got, was because I was putting up my own plays. I was putting myself out there. And some of them didn't even come see the plays, but my face was passing on flyers, 3 or 4 times a year. So I think maybe they thought they knew me from something. But today, casting directors have found a way to make more money off actors. And actors go there feeling they have no choice, and how else am I going to be seen? And maybe it does work for a few, but I think there's very few, because a lot of times you're not even, they're not casting something, that's why they're doing their workshops. And sometimes you got the secretaries. It just felt like a conflict of interest. Do your job. I mean, we actors are always paying our dues. Do your job. Don't make us pay for it. But I think a lot of young actors come out and they just want that quick fix. I just want to get the job. I'm less concerned with knowing how to do my job. And it shows, you know. Although I got to say, there's a lot of things I'm seeing now with Netflix. I'm seeing a lot of good storytelling, a lot of good writing, a lot of good directing. And I am seeing a lot of good acting. So it's coming from somewhere.